This is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment only. First on the list is that social media giant, Facebook. You know, that app that keeps you in touch with the family and friends that'll always stand behind you and give you that much needed support, and is the best reason for being involved with Facebook. Facebook continues to impress, even though there are times when you don't want to burden other people, or you just might not be in the mood to have that much social contact. There are many reasons to invest in Facebook on a long-term basis. It has 1.9 billion daily users in the world. That's nearly 1 in 4 people on the planet are daily users. Mark Zuckerberg has made some outstanding investments. One of them was buying Instagram in 2012. He bought it for $1 billion because he predicted that images would be so important on the internet. Right now, Instagram has at least 1 billion users. It's largely regarded as a corporate steal. In 2014, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook bought WhatsApp. Facebook paid $16 billion in cash and stock for WhatsApp. WhatsApp has 2 billion users, which again was a very smart move by Facebook. WhatsApp is also the #1 mobile messenger in the world. Facebook is also getting into virtual and augmented reality. They bought Oculus in 2014 for $2 billion, and they recently have gotten together a team specifically to deal with the metaverse, as they call it, in which it will be this new virtual reality that we are developing and one day may partially live in. While Facebook has been increasing its users, they've also been increasing how much revenue they receive from users. So it's a double-sided growth story where you're getting more users who are spending more on your website. Facebook has also been buying back its own stock fairly aggressively, and which only tends to increase the stock price, which is very good for stockholders. This over 1 trillion market cap company has had an outstanding 5 years. It's gone up 193% in the last 5 years, which is amazing considering its size. Since the beginning of the year, Facebook has gone up 40%, and it has a 28 price to earnings ratio, which is really kind of reasonable for the type of growth company that it is. VectorVest sees Facebook as having a lot of upside potential, as we can see in the chart, and views it as a safe stock, as do a lot of people online that I've watched. The only question is timing, and I think that's because of the general bearish state of the market. We're hanging on to a long-term bull run, but we're just barely hanging on. And the question is whether we're going to have a correction or not, and that's to be seen what's going to happen with that. But overall, it's seen as a fairly safe stock, which makes sense that it would ride out a crash relatively well. Right now, Facebook's price is about $378, and it has an earnings growth rate of 28%, which is outstanding. And its price to earnings, again, is close to 27. So this is a safe stock with major growth. And Kathy Wood, I notice, buys it regularly. A major thing you want to notice is that the price is around $378 right now, but VectorVest considers its value to be $495, almost $500. So this is an outstanding stock and an outstanding buy, and it's kind of a stock to go to when you don't know what else to buy. My next favorite FANG stock is Google. Google controls 90%, maybe over 90% of the searches done on the internet, either through Google search or through YouTube. YouTube also pays content creators, which is unlike anywhere else. That's why people like me can do things like be a YouTuber, because YouTube pays you to create content. So it's a win-win for both of us, and it's very much appreciated. And this would not be possible without Google. I do want to mention that I was a psychologist in private practice, and I found Gmail to have the best security and to be the most confidential, and I had the most confidence in using that. I've written 3 books. 2 of them were about dreams, and one was about my overcoming multiple sclerosis, which has been in remission since about 2006. I've always had most confidence in Google Drive as far as sending large files, like sending an illustrated book, for example. They have so much money that they need something to try to invest it in for the future. And they're trying their hand at autonomous driving. It's a very different concept from the way Tesla is approaching it. They rely on LiDAR, radar a lot. And Tesla is using more artificial intelligence, although Google is working in that area as well. And Google is working in robotics as well. So Google is kind of involved in everything major that's going on, the cool new things that are coming out. I live close to Chandler, Arizona, and that's one of the places where Waymo has it mapped out. And so they truly can have driverless cars. And they've had driverless cars in Chandler, Arizona for about a year now. I wonder why they don't release it like in New York City, because I would think it would be relatively easy for Google to map out the entire city. Plus, they have a huge population base, and it would be used a lot, I think. But there's something disconcerting about a driverless taxi, but I've been tempted to try it, but I haven't done it yet. I think I'm going to do it, though, just for the experience. Investing in other ventures is a big part of Google, and they invest heavily in life sciences and biotechnology. The best known of these is a company called Verily and another one called Calico. These are subsidiaries of Google that are ways of Google trying to expand their globe of interest into other areas. And they want to get more into biotechnology. But again, they have so much money, it's like they need new frontiers to expand on. It makes sense that Google wants to and does invest in frontier technology that's on the cutting edge of robotics, quantum computing, and deep technology, like the companies that you see magically appear on the screen with me talking at the same time. What is this? We couldn't even dream of doing this 20 years ago. This is just so wild, that the age we're living in. Of course, Google Ventures also invests in various technology companies like you see pictured here in their efforts to spread their massive war chest around. Google Venture also invests in various consumer products like insurance, transportation, and media, like you see pictured here. And here you can see another 9 life sciences or biotechnology companies that Google Ventures invest in. They're very interested in the medical applications. If we look at the 5-year chart on this 1.9 trillion market cap company, we can see that it's done really well. It has the kind of stability and kind of upward movement you want to see with the stock on a long-term basis, and it's particularly been riding out the recent bearish conditions, I will call it, in the market that seem to be getting ready for a correction, but we'll have to see how it plays out. But things do look bearish right now, and it's as predicted. It seems to be doing pretty good in spite of the downturn. As we look at the year-to-date chart on Google, it indeed is performing the way we would hope that it would perform in a downturn. And I don't know if it's going to be able to maintain this if the market should crash, but I think it will ride it out probably as good or better than any of them. As we look at the VectorVest ratings, we can see that it has excellent upside potential and good safety. The only problem is the timing, and that's not Google's fault. That is the state of the market. I want to say with both of these stocks that one needs to be cautious at this time in the market. I want to let you know where I am on this state of the market. I am an active trader. I've gotten out of almost all my stock, a lot of stocks on September 10th, last Friday. The market just does not look good. I feel like the whole market, and myself, I will include myself in this, but I think I've woken up. I feel like a frog. The metaphor is a frog in boiling water, right? The water heats up so gradually that the frog doesn't realize it's being cooked until it's too late, and then it's over. I don't feel like a frog in boiling water. I feel like a frog in freezing water, and it's getting awfully cold, and I think the hotness of the market has come off the market, and we are in a correction, and I hope we're just in a correction. We may be in a crash. This may be slowly crashing, but right now it looks like a correction. But this frog has woken up, and I'm not going to be trading until things start to turn a lot more favorable. So here's my list of stocks for a pullback. Some of them are moonshots, and in this sort of phase, I wouldn't go on the moonshot ones, but there are some long-term plays on there, like Google and like Facebook, that a person could do once you feel like we're near the bottom of this correction. And I think it's a phantom correction, and it's just slowly crept up on us. But here's the list, and I hope it's of some value. And if it has been of some value, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the future.